The miserable boss spent 5 hours in a broken elevator as a result of her own idiotic orders. This story takes us back to those ancient times when Blockbuster and Hollywood video rental store chains were the main entertainment for the whole family on a Friday evening, and mobile phones still seemed like an excess to most people, that is, to the 90s. I got a job at a video rental store near my home. It was a small family-owned store with 3 branches in the city. The job was wonderful. I loved movies. And games. The store was close to my home and school, and I even got free rentals and a discount at the neighboring sandwich joint. The store itself was located in a beautiful old building from the 1920s, marble staircases and an incredible antique elevator with a metal cage leading to the storage room and staff room. This job was perfect for me, flexible schedule, decent pay, but with one drawback: my boss. Let's call her Amanda because that was her name. Seriously, screw Amanda. Amanda was a middle-aged woman who seemed completely unhappy with how her life had turned out. As a result, she took out all her irritation on others, especially younger co-workers. If you were a student like me, you'd get an extra helping of her contempt. Really, how dare you dream of making more than $7.50 an hour? Although I'm generally tolerant of such people, Amanda really put maximum effort into driving me up the wall. She was mean, petty, nasty, and did everything possible just to be unpleasant. She didn't even bother to be polite to customers. The only upside was that she didn't let random crazies throw tantrums over God knows what. I might have put up with her longer if she had been competent or good at her job, but no. Amanda was kept there solely because she was the owner's daughter-in-law. She knew nothing about movies, games, consoles, or anything else we rented and sold. When a customer had a question, she'd push it off on another employee. Computer problem? They'd call me. A delivery to log into the system? Me again. Items to carry into storage? Still me. Any unpleasant task? Instantly mine. She herself. Usually hid in the office, watched TV, or gossiped on the phone, tying up the store's business line for hours, doing everything possible to avoid working. When I complained about Amanda to Ken, the store owner, he just sighed heavily, winced, and asked me to put up with her and stay away from her when possible. I got the distinct impression Ken didn't like her much either. But since she was his daughter-in-law, he tried to keep our shifts overlapping as little as possible. Still, at least once a week, I had to work with this demon. One day I was on the phone with a customer discussing late return fees when Amanda decided she urgently needed to make a call. As a result, she publicly tore into me across the entire store. It was Saturday, and the place was packed. She yelled so loudly that the woman on the other end of the line asked if we were being robbed and if she should call the police. Before I could answer, Amanda ripped the handset out of my hand and slammed it onto the base. You hear me? Never hang on this phone. Got it? Although I was dying to headbutt her, I held back, bit my tongue, took a deep breath, counted to 10. When that didn't help, I kept counting to 20, then 50. Instead of wishing she'd be mauled by rabid wolverines, I just smiled and said, "All right." Apparently that pissed her off even more than if I'd snapped. She stormed into the office, and I went back to helping the stream of customers. Everyone asked if I was okay, and one even offered suggestions on how to dispose of a body. The ideas were solid, but I already had plenty of my own fantasies. While gutting Amanda with rusty paper scissors sounded tempting, it probably wouldn't help my life goals. Instead, I just noted the incident in my big Voodoo Curses book and waited for the right moment to thank Amanda for her touching gesture, humiliating me in front of half the town. But for my act of malicious compliance, I needed a reason. Amanda didn't let me down. A month later, I'd worked about 7 hours into my shift and had seen Amanda only once, when she was leaving the store. With 2 hours left in the shift and no break yet, I badly needed to use the restroom. I told my coworker I was going to the bathroom. Apparently, bathroom breaks didn't fit into Amanda's worldview. She started banging and kicking the bathroom. door, demanding I come out. I didn't hurry. Calmly washed my hands, fixed my hair, and walked out with the most unbothered look possible while she shrieked. I ignored her, went to the sales floor, and grabbed a cart of movies to shelve. She grabbed the cart from the front and knocked the top stack of movies off it. Then told me some dubious things about the origins of my parents, said I liked passionately hugging mothers, and that I was a... Honestly, I had no idea about such things in my life. I'd always thought I was just a regular college student. I probably could have made it on TV if I'd known earlier how special I was. Amanda declared that under no circumstances was I allowed to leave the sales floor during my shift. Once again, I summoned my inner peace, worthy of Gandhi, himself, smiled, and nodded. All right. On the outside, I looked calm, but inside I'd already made up my mind. My chance would come, even a tiny one, and I wouldn't miss it. That moment came on a lazy, blissful, quiet morning. Since it was morning, the only people in the store were me and Amanda. I hoped she'd hole up in the office and I wouldn't have to see her. When I arrived, there were repairmen working near the elevator. One of them came up to me and said they were missing a part and would be back tomorrow to finish the job. Slightly annoying, since I'd have to haul boxes of tapes up the stairs now, but not a big deal. Amanda showed up a couple hours later without saying a word to me. I was at the counter putting stickers on a batch of new releases when I saw Amanda enter the elevator through the back door. After what the repairman said about the missing part, it didn't even occur to me that the elevator had power. I smugly thought Amanda would have to face her hated stairs. She was extremely lazy, but it turned out the elevator did work. At least enough to move half a floor and then get stuck. It stopped at just the right height so you couldn't get up to the upper floor or jump down to the lower one. I couldn't believe my eyes. Malicious compliance mode activated. I couldn't see Amanda fully as she tried to open the door and get out, but I could hear her perfectly. The sounds of desperation grew until I heard the most beautiful sound in my life. Amanda. Hey! You! A slow, Grinch-like smile spread across my face. I walked to the edge of the sales floor and shouted, "Yeah, Amanda!" "The elevator's stuck. Can you open the door from your side?" "I don't know. I can't see from here." Amanda snorted in irritation. "Then come over and try to open it." "I can't, Amanda. And why not?" "I'm not allowed to leave the sales floor during my shift under any circumstances." "You kidding me?" "You said so yourself, and I value my job too much to disobey an order." From inside the stuck elevator came a stream of curses. I'm sure I still shouldn't know half of what I heard that day. "Call maintenance. The number should be in the office." Trying to sound as innocent and sympathetic as possible. Barely holding back laughter, I said, "Can't do that either. I'd have to leave the sales floor to go to the office." "You think you're really funny, huh?" "I don't know what you mean." "Then call Ken. I know you know his number." "I'd love to, but I'm not allowed to use the phone, remember?" And, surprisingly, there was no swearing, no yelling, not even a word about my parents being unmarried, just silence. I think for the first time she realized she was completely screwed, trapped in a situation she had created herself, with no way out anytime soon. "Please, get me out of here." "Sorry, Amanda, I'm just following orders." And then the fake politeness was gone. She launched into listing all my imaginary flaws, taking jabs at my parents, friends, and anyone else I had or might ever have known. Then she sealed her own fate by yelling that I was fired. Originally, I'd just planned to let her stew for a while, but now, fired? Okay then, I'll go home. "Oh, by the way," I said, "Bill called, said he'll be here at 7 instead of 5. He has to pick up his brother from the airport, so it looks like you'll be in there a while longer. Hope you've got a book or something." "What the hell makes you think you can do this to me? When I get out, I'm gonna kick your ass, you IQ." "Wow, well, good luck. I'll leave my badge and shirt at the counter." Wait. "Don't worry, I'll lock the store on my way out and hang a sign that we're closed." Hey, wait, I didn't mean... Come back. I went to the counter, wrote a sign saying the store was closed until 7 now due to unforeseen circumstances. The last thing I heard from Amanda before opening the door was, "I don't need to go to the bathroom." Chuckling to myself, I locked the door and drove 45 minutes to Ken's place to tell him the store was closed. Could I have just gone home, 5 minutes away, and called him? Of course. Did I? Nope. Ken looked a bit surprised to see me at his door. "Ken, I thought you were working today." I was, but Amanda fired me. She's not allowed to do that. All hiring and firing goes through me. She knows that. Don't worry, I'll call her. I think it's time I talk to my son about her. I can't keep her if she's acting like this. I don't think she can answer the phone. Ken gave me a long look. I tried hard not to smile, then gave up and grinned widely. "Hey," Ken said. "Yeah? What did you do?" "Nothing. Just followed her orders." Ken leaned closer, looking me straight in the eyes. "What happened?" I told him everything. How she banned me from using the phone under any circumstances, told me not to leave the sales floor during my shift, and then got stuck in the elevator. "You didn't tell her the elevator was broken?" "I didn't know it still had power." Ken stood there stunned, then laughed. "I should probably go let her out." He paused, looked at his dirt-covered hands and clothes, then back at me. "But leaving flowers unplanted isn't right. And I should take a shower. Don't want to drive like this." "Of course. You've got a nice car, and it'd be hard to clean this much dirt out of the seats and mats. Want me to help with the flowers?" Ken nodded seriously, then chuckled again. "We worked for about an hour until we finished planting. Ken said he'd pay me for the whole day and sent me home, promising the job was still mine and he'd deal with Amanda. I had a wonderful rest of the day." Later, Bill told me that when he arrived, the elevator repair guy had just shown up. In the end, Amanda spent about 5 hours in the elevator. After that day, I only saw her once more. She threw daggers at me with her eyes while carrying a bag of her things to the car. I cheerfully waved. Every time I remember this, I can't help but smile. After all, I was just following her orders. Well, that's all. Subscribe, leave a like, and good luck.